Hey guys, today I'm talking about keeping your grass green, healthy, insect-free, and disease-free all summer long. By simply applying this really simple recipe, your grass will look better than it's ever looked before. And you're going to pay 99% less than if you were using a professional service to come out and spray your yard, your lawn. But this way you can do it at a much cheaper price, no toxicity, and it's completely effective. As you can see, during an extreme heat and drought situation like we're having right now, this works perfectly to keep your grass looking great. So take a look at the link in the description as well. There's a PDF you can download there. It's in my Patreon, but any members there, they can get it for free. So let's head into the potting shed and I'll show you exactly how to put this super simple recipe together. So guys, this recipe is for your lawn if you're seeing brown spots, brown patches, dying grass, and you can't figure out what's going on. There's usually 3 or 4 very simple things that are happening. It may be all 4 or it could be one of the 4. So we're going to mix this up as a 1-gallon mixture, and depending on the type of sprayer you have, you're going to apply it. Such as this one right here, this is a 6-gallon sprayer, so you're going to mix it 6x. In other words, you'll multiply all the things in the recipe by 6, mix it up in something like this, and then you can add it to your sprayer. This is a 20-gallon sprayer, so if you're wanting to do a full 20 gallons, you would do it like that. This right here is really simple to do. It's a 4-gallon sprayer, so you're just going to multiply it by 4. My personal preference is I have a 5-gallon sprayer in the greenhouse and a 6-gallon. So we just don't want to overdo it. And one thing that you need to remember is you need to apply this in a spot treatment. I might repeat myself on this because I don't want you to spray your entire lawn with this. You want to do a spot treatment and wait at least 24 hours to make sure there's no adverse reaction. So let's get started on the recipe. But before we do, I wanted to tell you about a booklet I put together specifically for my patrons. If you're a member over there, you can download this for free. It's a solid 10 pages of information, so it contains a lot more information than I'm giving in this video. But I'm giving the overall mixture and every way to apply it in this video. But if you want to go into a deeper dive, take a look in the Patreon and download that. If you're not a member and you just want to download it and buy it outright, you can do that too. But paid members of the Patreon can get it for free, so you can print it off to a hard copy like this or print it off to your device so you can go back to it later as a reference. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use our rain catch water, and I'm trying to make sure I'm on screen here. This water was actually captured from my gutter system, so it is just pure rainwater. You can use tap water if you let it degas, allow it about 24 hours for any chlorines or fluorides to degas off of it there. So we've got a solid 1 gallon. And again, like I said, you can mix this in multiples. The first thing we're using is garlic. You can use a garlic powder or you can use actual garlic itself. I like this product right here because it's 99% garlic juice. It's actually made as a mosquito barrier, and I've made a video about that before. I'll put that link up above. But we're going to use a solid tablespoon, and it's 99% garlic juice. Sorry, I'm a little bit off camera. I'm going to try to move the camera around there so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So our first item that we've added is a very concentrated amount of garlic juice. I'll put a link in the description if you want to try this. If you've watched the other video, you'll find this has a very positive effect on getting rid of mosquitoes. So our first thing for our lawn rescue formula is our garlic. Now, you can also use powdered garlic as well. I would use 1 tablespoon per gallon on that as well. Now, our second ingredient is neem oil, and whether you're using just your standard bottle of neem oil or a concentrate, and I would recommend using the concentrate if you're having a really bad problem with insects in your lawn, and that could be the case. As with me, I'm not, so I'm just going to use the standard neem oil. The concentrate is, like I said, if you're having a lot of insect problems. So we're going to use 1 tablespoon of neem oil. In the concentrate, same thing, 1 tablespoon. And so you'll know if you see a lot of insects in and around your lawn, ants, other bugs, cinch bugs, grubs. If you see a lot of wildlife feeding on the lawn, digging in the lawn, such as possums or things like armadillos, and they just seem to be digging in the lawn a lot, it could be that they're after the grubs that are under the soil. So just remember that you can use the concentrate if you are having an insect problem and you're seeing a lot of evidence of it there. Now, this is just a generic antiseptic mouthwash. You can use Listerine or you can use this one. I buy this one at Walmart because it is cheaper. We're going to use 1 tablespoon, and the purpose of this is for diseases in the soil. So if you see evidence of diseases or fungal problems, this will help. Just regular antiseptic mouthwash, and you want to save $1 or $2, just go with the generic brand from Walmart. I'll put a link in the description if you don't have one near you, and you can just get the generic and save $1 or $2 here or there. Now the next item we're adding is just a standard baby shampoo. This is Johnson's well-known brand, but you don't have to use a name brand. You can just use that, whatever brand you happen to have at your dollar store or your local Walmart. We're going to do 1 tablespoon as well of the baby shampoo, and this is going to help with hydrophobic soils. It helps the water that you're watering onto your lawn break the soil surface. A lot of times with hanging baskets or potted plants, the top layer of soil can become hydrophobic, which means the water, when you water it, will run off the side or down the inside sides of the basket. Same thing can happen with the lawn. If you're watering it and you notice that water just seems to bead up and run off, it could be your soil has become hydrophobic. So adding any type of baby shampoo will help. If you don't want to use a shampoo like this, you can use some other brands like Dawn dishwashing detergent. That can help. But anytime that I'm going to consume anything, I don't use an industrial baby shampoo. I would use something that's a little bit less potent. So if you're doing this in a vegetable garden to help with hydrophobic soil there, take a look at some other videos where I talk about helping the soil water reach the roots of your vegetables. So this is mainly for lawns and things like that. Inedible, just ornamental gardens, or just like I said, large lawn areas. Now let me run down the list of what I call pantry boosters. We're going to start with molasses, 1 tablespoon. We're going to move on to apple cider vinegar, again 1 tablespoon. 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a couple of optional items to make sure that you don't get the type of Epsom salt that has any type of odors or additives to it. Make sure it's fragrance free and it's just pure Epsom salt. And fish fertilizer or a fish emulsion or liquid seaweed. So these 2 are optional, but a lot of times people ask me about Epsom salt. Won't that damage my lawn? It's not actually it's not actually a salt. It is actually a magnesium. You can look at the ingredients and you'll discover it's magnesium. That's why it's so good for joint aches and pains. So these 2 are optional. These 2 are part of my standard recipe, but today I'm adding them all because I do have a little hydrophobic activity in a lawn area in my backyard. So I'm going to do all of these today and mix it up in my sprayer. Now, one thing you need to remember is that you're going to have your main container here, and then you'll be refilling your smaller containers, whether you have a backpack spray or anything like that. I'll put a link in the description. Unfortunately, this Black & Decker model is not made, or it's extremely rare now, so I'll put another one that I have out in the greenhouse. It's just as good. Battery operated, so you don't have to wear an arm out trying to pump it every few seconds, keeping it fully charged. So I always recommend these 20 volts. So you want to have a stir stick as you're applying this. Make sure you just keep stirring it. You'll apply it, go back and refill your whatever device you have that you're using to apply it to the lawn. But just remember, you need to stir because it will separate in a very short amount of time. So just remember to do that. So one thing you want to do is you want to apply this when temperatures are under 85 degrees. You want to apply it early morning before probably 9 a.m. or late evening, right around sunset. You don't want to apply this in the heat of the day. Now I'm going to put on the screen right here 5 areas you should focus on in your lawn, things that you should look for when you're applying this to your lawn. So just take a look at those, freeze frame it, jot down a note or take a screenshot so you know exactly what you need to be focused on when you're applying this. Remember to just spray lightly and always do a patch test and wait 24 hours to make sure there's no adverse reactions. And you may wait as long as 48 hours because it may take a little bit longer if the soils are really dry or hydrophobic. Now you're using this about 1 gallon to every 500 to 1,000 square feet, depending on what the condition of your grass is. The worse the condition, the more concentrated you want to put it in that area. So I'd say 500 square feet rather than 1,000. But if everything is okay, it's just got some bad things going on with it, then you can do that. If your soil is extremely hydrophobic, you can take a garden rake and just kind of tap it around lightly and try to break up that 1/4 to 1/2 inch area at the top, because the soil itself in the summertime can become baked, and so that's why you see water running off. And even though you water, the grass continually, the dead spots or the bald areas continually get larger because your soil is so hydrophobic, it's not absorbing moisture at all. It's actually like a baked clay almost in my yard. So remember, you want to break that top 1/4 to 1/2 inch layer to make sure that your water or your mix here is getting down deep into the soil and allowing the grass to move back into those areas where it's recently or not so recently died. Now I know the next thing that people are going to ask is the application frequency, and that kind of varies depending on what's happening in your lawn. But in my lawn that has minor problems, I'm doing this about once every 7 to 10 days for 3 weeks until I see recovery taking place, and then I'll ease off to doing a maintenance treatment about once a month for the rest of the summer until I have my first frost. So if you have a severe problem, you might move it up to every 7 days for 4 to 6 weeks until you start to see an improvement. You don't want to do this daily. This is just a once a week at most treatment, and then as you see improvement, you can space it out further until it's completely healed, the grass has grown back, and then next year you can do an examination and see what's happening. So you may have to do it each year because you have different diseases, insects, and things like that moving in. So just remember that it's not a one-time treatment. It is an ongoing treatment, just like professional lawn care companies. They don't do a one-time treatment and problem solved. It's to come back every year and solve the problems as they arise. Okay, so I've got all of my products here lined up in a row, and I want to tell you what each one does for your lawn. First, we'll start with baby shampoo. This is going to act as a gentle surfactant, meaning that it's going to allow the water to spread evenly across the soil, and it will break the surface tension and allows it to soak in the dry and hard hydrophobic soil. So just remember, this is one of the key ingredients. That's why it's first on our list, to help break down that soil that's become hydrophobic, baked soil. And this can happen in potted plants. So if you ever have a potted plant that's dying and you don't know why, it could be the soil on the very top surface has become hydrophobic. You need to add a little bit of baby shampoo to break the surface tension. Now, number 2 is our neem oil. That's going to help control soft-bodied insects. It's going to reduce the feeding by pests and may interfere with insect growth and reproduction. It's going to help certain lawn insects, and it's going to also act as a mild antifungal product. So just remember, this has double duty, not only for insects, but it also helps with funguses. Now, our antiseptic mouthwash is going to also act as an antifungal, and it's also going to reduce microbes across the grass blade surfaces, and it's going to discourage some insects from feeding on your grass and your lawn area. Now, our liquid garlic right here, whether we make it ourselves, use powdered garlic, either way, it's going to act as a strong repellent to a lot of different types of insects. So we have a lot of theme going on here with insects. We're trying to get insects out of the lawn as well as diseases. Now, molasses is not a common ingredient as it once was. So if you can't find it, I'll put a link in the description to it. But a lot of times you can find it at grocery stores if you just look in the baking area. But it's going to act as a gentle soil biology booster. It's a very sugar-rich product, and that's going to help feed our good microbes in the soil. Now, with apple cider vinegar, we want to be careful. We don't want to use more than the recommended dosage in our recipe, but it's going to act as add a little bit of mild acidity to the spray, and it's going to help discourage some pests as well. It can break down residue on grass blades, and it will work with garlic as a pest-repelling scent. Now, our baking soda is also going to act as a mild antifungal agent, and it's going to change the surface of the pH on the grass blade. So if you're having problems with mildew, this is something you don't want to leave out, is baking soda. Now, down there at the end, you see Dr. Teal's Epsom salt. It is no fragrance. Again, I want to say that it is fragrance-free, but this is actually not salt, it's magnesium, and it's going to help support chlorophyll production. The sulfur in it is going to support plant enzyme function, and it can help make your grass look better and greener overall. So if you want to green up your grass quickly, try this with the magnesium and you'll see a much deeper green in your grass. Now, down there at the very end is our fish fertilizer, and I can tell you that it does have a very strong odor. A lot of people say they just can't tolerate it. It says on the bottle low odor, but it is not. It's a very noticeable odor, but it's going to help by providing nitrogen and micronutrients. So I would absolutely try this if your soil is a very unhealthy soil. So we want to help raise the microbial levels in our soil with the molasses and with the fish fertilizer. These two combined will really make a difference in the grass overall. Now, what prompted me to make this mix to start spraying on the lawn is I saw armadillos digging in my grass area, and they don't come in my fence very often because they have to dig under it, and I usually will put a rock in that area and stop them from actually coming under the fence. But the armadillos actually feed on grubs in the lawn. So what I want to do is I want to do two different things here. I want to kill the grubs that are in there or push them away through some of these ingredients. And also with the garlic and the other products, the strong smell will also chase our armadillos away as well. So this recipe can help with even some of the larger pests that come into our lawn, such as possums, raccoons, and armadillos, which can do a lot of damage digging for those insects and destroying the root systems of your grass. So guys, each one of these has its own place in the yard, not only the grass areas, but in my garden and my ornamentals as well. But they all serve a very special purpose, but when combined, they can make a very powerful solution to what I call a lawn rescue formula. So if you're having problems with your lawn, you're seeing patches of grass dying, brown areas, whether it's dog urine or insect problems, this will solve a lot of problems by doing this. Again, remember, not more than once every 7 days. If you want to take a look at that PDF that I put together, it's a 10-page booklet. It'll help you to understand it a little bit deeper. If I put everything that was in this PDF into the video, we're looking at an hour-long video, and most people might fall asleep listening to my voice drone on and on about it. So take a look at that PDF if you're already a member of the Patreon, or you can just purchase one and download it outright and keep it on your device. So guys, I really appreciate you watching. Have a great day.